get started?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so Ryan, we had lesson today. The progress was that your ability to get the club out in an open club face has significantly improved. Path was consistently a couple of degrees to the left, and the club face was pretty consistently open, remembering we want 2 degrees left, 1 degree open as an average, but our window of shots would be anything that starts 5 yards left and stays on that line, curving back varying amounts to 5 yards right of that line, so it's kind of a 10-yard gap on the range. What we noticed was that in getting that, it came at the cost of speed, and so the movement goal in conjunction with this is that you get a big belt buckle turn, and you're basically moving the belt buckle into the right hip pocket, so as opposed to it pointing there, it would be pointing much more further around, and that got you up to about 5 miles an hour of speed. And when you did both together, you were able to get faster and keep a pull fade. And then the last thing that we did in the session was then to try and address the trajectory issue, which was way too low, and shaft lean at address was hurting, and we know the shafts are hurting that as well. So by picturing a higher fly, having the shaft with minimal shaft lean, you were able to increase the height from like 60 feet to 90 feet in the air, and getting a land angle like 45 degrees, which is kind of the minimum we would need to be able to hit firm greens. And you did that mainly with setup and intent. We noticed as a byproduct that you became a little bit shallower, so instead of the low point being 7 inches after the ball, it got back to kind of 4 or 5 inches after the ball, which allowed you to deliver it with the appropriate amount of loft. And then the practice thing is just to make sure you're very clear about what you're working on, maybe split the practice into kind of groups of 10 minutes and just say, right, now I'm working on path face, now I'm working on speed, now I'm working on trajectory.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Smash it.